Let me make something clear, Big Brother is everywhere, in everything, and will affect everybody who is a part of their system. Do you have a social security number? Then you are in the system. Do you go to the hospital? Then you are in the system. Do you have a job? Then you are in the system. Do you follow? Yaa-Nun told you so many years ago that welfare would be abolished. Everybody on welfare would be basically left on their own. When he coined this phrase, welfare really means farewell, and that is to the new Wabian man's manhood. Everybody thought he was crazy. Now it is a common phrase. It is already happening. It is going to start by way of the cashless society. Cashless, meaning everything will be done by credit cards, smart cards, vein reading, etc. You see, the United States has been in debt to the Federal Reserve, which is an independent company that prints American money. That means that, as it states on the dollar bill, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. What they are saying is that the dollar bill you hold in your pocket is no longer worth the weight in gold, as it did in the past. This is why they have the gold card. It was introduced to replace the paper currency, dollar bill, which is gradually disappearing. Credit cards and gold cards are being utilized throughout the internet. The gold card is supposed to be equal to gold. Anything which is not gold, Gold Masters, Gold Visa, Gold Citibank. They have even gone a little further with the Platinum American Express card. Anything else is cash. All purchasing is being done by way of the card. You can now go to fast food places using your card. You can talk on the phone by using a card. You can buy gas using your card. You can go to the Diners Club, which allows you to eat at restaurants by using the card. You can buy or rent videos with your card, go shopping on the Home Shopping Club using the credit card, pay for tolls with your credit card, obtain medical assistance with credit card, take your pet to the veterinarian using your credit card. With one card they will be able to pull up your entire credit history. This means bye-bye to drug dealers, because everyone will have to be accountable for their earnings. A drug dealer, who does illegal sales, will not be able to account for the money they have made illegally. So whomever has cash in their pocket, what shall become of them? Well, the books of Revelation tells us, L's Holy Angel 13:16-17, and the beast caused all people, both big and small, rich and poor, free and slaves, to get a stamp in their right hand or in the space between their eyes, so that no one would be able to buy or sell, except for those that had the stamp or the name of the living beast or the number 666 of his name. People are volunteering to be a part of experiments. As Yaa-Nun has told you in the past, prisoners are the state's guinea pigs. Since these prisoners are literally the property of the state, they can do anything they want of them. They started out by putting chips in animals. Chips will eventually be placed inside of everyone who is a part of their system, including newborn babies, before they leave the hospital. He also told you that when Mike Tyson went to jail, based on the evidence, he really didn't have to. Yet, he went to jail anyway. Why? Mike Tyson was put in there so that they can get a skin graft from him, so that they can have his killer instinct, warrior type, so that they can build their army. A real careless, feelingless FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. When criminals are freed from prison and go on house arrest, they have a homing device attached to their wrist, and now they are putting the devices under their skin to keep a track of them. All of the plagues that are hitting the earth are prophecies. AIDS was the first of the major plagues to come in these end times. The second was Ebola, and the third was Streptococcus. And don't forget about dengue fever that just disappeared off the media. These are not the last of the vials that will be poured on the earth, as it says in Revelation chapter 16. There are many more that are coming that will be even worse than the last three. I am telling you now that there will be diseases that will wipe out almost half of the population of the planet Earth. Many of the diseases that are circulating were made by the hands of humans, and that includes the AIDS virus, which doctors disclosed to the public in 1981 AD. Yaa-Nun explained that first, scientists claimed that the diseases started in Haiti. Then American doctors tried to say it was from a green monkey in Africa. And the last thing is that it is a gay disease, as they termed it, which is obviously not true, because there are more heterosexuals and children who haven't reached the age of promiscuity with AIDS. The AIDS virus is a result of germ warfare. They infected the continent of Africa with the intention of testing to see the results and to kill off the population. Now, AIDS is a worldwide epidemic. He wasn't the only one saying it, like Dr. Francis Cress-Welsing and Dr. Robert Strecker. There were others, and now they have just started saying that yes, AIDS was created in a lab and tested on certain groups of people. Now their experiments are out of hand. They are also leading people to believe that if you wear a condom during sexual intercourse you can't catch AIDS. This is another lie. This man-made virus is so small it can pass through the tiny holes in the condom. The people that are really spreading the AIDS virus and other diseases are the ones who are keeping you in ignorance, and keeping the youth under the false pretense that you have to be a homosexual to catch and spread AIDS, and that is simply not true. By spreading this ignorant information, many teenagers will meet an early grave. What is really sad is that the medical community and leaders in the religious community who were the main people promoting this propaganda, never gave the gay community, Haitian, or the Kenyans of Africa, a public apology. That human beings who are considered useless eaters are going to be used for body parts because that is all you are worth. What is happening now, although it is being kept silent, is that a ring of doctors and medical students are removing people's body organs, namely the kidneys, and are selling them for $10,000 and more. This isn't a new event by far. This has been going on for years. Do you remember years ago when Yaa-Nun told you that people are coming up missing, or how someone was going around killing derelicts for no apparent reason, or even in foreign places like Brazil, where they are in deep poverty, children who were considered riff-raff were randomly being killed? This is because their body parts are needed. If you are of the upper echelon, your chances of getting an organ is much higher than of a middle or lower class person. And this is real. Think about this: if there is an organ donor waiting list of 50,000 people. Some people have been waiting for a very, very long time, and most people have died while waiting. Ask yourself this: a wealthy person such as Mickey Mantle needed an organ and he was number 50,001 on the list. How could he become number 1 on the list and get an organ immediately when the other 50,000 people were just told that there weren't any organs available? Where did he get his organ from? Think. Mickey Mantle developed not only cancer, he also had liver failure, because he drank excessively. Yet he was able to receive more than 2 liver transplants, even though doctors knew he was going to die of acute cancer anyway. Also, from these body parts, a clone can be made. All you need is a few drops of blood to clone someone. With this same drop of blood, you can run any type of test you want on a person. Your blood tells whether you are healthy or not, whether you have a hereditary genetic disorder, etc. They have cloned 2 monkeys. They are telling people that they can take a piece of their lip and clone them from that. In February 1997 AD, they were talking about how they have successfully cloned a full-grown sheep by using cells of a 6-year-old ewes' udders. So why is it that when you go to the hospital the nurses take 6 and 7 tubes of blood? Because they are collecting people's blood and storing it for hemophiliacs. The rest of the blood, they extract the plasma out of the blood and send it to rich people, because the hemoglobin in our blood gives us the ability to clot or keloid, whereas they are missing this factor and thus bleed to death from a simple scar or cut. So clones are made by duplicating the genes from any one strand of DNA or one cell in the body, or you can go into the cell and destroy the nucleus, then inject another nucleus into it. This can either be animal or plant. As he has told us many times, cloning is not something new. It has been going on for thousands of years. It is now that scientists today are beginning to understand it and are manipulating and using it for malevolent reasons. In February of 1997 AD, it was reported on the news that scientists were able to clone a full-grown sheep, which means that they are able to clone full-grown adults. Another prophecy is fulfilled. This blows the whole religious concept of creation. Meaning you don't need God to create man anymore, right? Ask your imams, pastors, priests, rabbis, and the likes of them to explain this. As of March 4, 1997, the US banned the cloning of human beings, which means that it is already being done. The only problem with cloning is the emotional body and the intelligence being duplicated. A clone can be given the same emotions, however reactions won't be the same, unless they are raised together in the same environment under the same conditions. Clones are in tune with each other unconsciously and linked etherically, which means anything that happens to you, the clone feels it also. Clones function on the same biorhythm, which are biological functions of the physical, emotional, and intellectual energy levels of a person or thing, and are in tune with nature. Clones have the same oversoul and life body, however, not necessarily the same spirit, because emotions and reactions can't be duplicated except under controlled conditions. Originally, cloning was for body parts for all who could afford it in ancient times. Forces in higher places have people on standby, so if someone that is rich, or a high official gets sick, or needs an organ, they can snatch your body parts. All of this may sound like a science fiction movie to you, however, when things start hitting closer to home, then you will know. And taking your body parts is just the beginning. Once the organs and limbs that are salvageable are taken, your corpse will either be thrown to waste or grinded up, packaged, and sold as food. You will never know the difference. Just because cannibalism is not widely talked about doesn't mean it is not happening. It simply means you just don't know about it. A perfect depiction of the future of the planet Earth is the movie starring Charlton Heston called Soylent Green, released back in the 1970s. The entire storyline was about a city that was full of useless eaters or scavengers that were roaming the streets with no place to go. There was the rich and there was the poor. There is a certain scene in the movie where they actually scoop people off the street into garbage trucks to become food for the rest of the useless eaters. Now this is recycled food. Area 51 is an Air Force base where crafts and extraterrestrials are kept and have been built for decades. Area 51, known also as Groom Lake, the Ranch, Watertown, the Area, the Spot, Blue Diamond, Red Square, and Dreamland. At Area 51 there are underground levels where they are keeping different reptilian beings, greys, humanoids, and hybrids. When it flooded in Nevada, some of the eggs from the reptilians were washed out. Being that reptilians are creatures of water, it made it easy for them to get out. The purpose of keeping reptilians in Nevada is because of the desert. It is dry land, and if they tried to escape, they wouldn't make it very far before dying. So the flood was a perfect opportunity for them to get out. However, after the rain there was a freeze in the temperature which isn't normal. The Anunnaki caused a freeze to come over Nevada in order to freeze the reptilian eggs, causing them to die, keeping them from getting to the nearby cities in Las Vegas, Nevada, where there are thousands of tourists throughout the year. Some of the eggs didn't get away. Also, you are getting a lot of bacteria, and the Anunnaki are freezing the bacteria so that you won't get sick. However, since the weather has been cold in farm areas where there is vegetation, crops were frozen. When you freeze vegetables, they lose their nutrition. Thus right now, fresh vegetables and frozen vegetables have less nutrition than canned vegetables. The information that Yaa-Nun gives to you comes through him, not from him. He says, "I am Dr. Malachi Z. York, a person." However, as I have stated in many of my publications, my pen is guided. There are many different personalities that speak through me at different times. Some of my personalities by name are Al-Qutb, Al-Qadr, Yaa-Nun, Zoser, and Rama, just to name a few. None of these personalities come at the same time. They come as individuals and are distinctly different. When they give me information, it comes from them, and I can only tell you what I see, as it was shown to me. When I receive a vision, I am made to experience it so that I will feel the reality of it as well, whether it is painful or pleasant. That way, when I relay it to you, it is more effective. People who don't believe in religious prophecies know that something is going to happen. He has told us over and over again that he's not talking about some mythological rapture where Jesus will be floating on clouds as taught in Christianity, or Muhammad riding on some white donkey called the Burak as taught in Islam. He is talking about an Earth problem where different beings and forces from inside and outside of the planet Earth are going to cause devastating changes in this world as we know it. Now that it is time, information is coming from everywhere. Everything is information. The word inform is the root of the word information, which is this era we are in called the information age. Principalities in high places try to call it the new age. See, anytime we New Wapians say something, they call it the new age, however it's the information age. The computer is the information. If you are on the internet, you are being informed. When they do something with computers they call it information, however computers are new age, because they were not created until 1943 AD. So it's new age. Yaa-Nun's job is to get us information, or informat. That is why in the military they tell you to get information, and when you're in grade school they tell you to line up, hands to your side, no chewing gum, etc. They want you to get information. They make these laws so that you can follow them. New Wapians follow the laws while they follow the rules. Rules are made to be broken. However, he came in order to inform you in order to reform us, which is who he is, the reformer, and what he has always claimed to be. You see, you have to be informed in order to be reformed, because the information is the reformation of your transformation. There are so many things that our people don't know about because they don't read, and that is where the saying comes from, if you want to hide something from a brother, just put it in a book. For this reason, he puts his words into books in order to make New Wapians read and educate themselves. Our miracle is that our organization has the ability to make our people read, or as they would say in Arabic, Iqra, and with right knowledge, you will be able to decipher the truth from the falsehood when someone confronts you about anything. Movies such as Escape from New York, which came out in the 1980s, where they are letting you know just how the cities are going to be in a state of total chaos and that there is really no escape. Earthquakes are not restricted to the western United States, and the East Coast is destined to have an earthquake in the near future. There are so many scientific facts that he has given you about the Earth, nature, astronomy, biology, anatomy, and many, many other subjects that there are hundreds of books and online videos circulating just waiting for you, so that you will be informed. All over the world people are suffering from natural catastrophes. Mother Nature, called Netaru today, is fighting back and people are dying. Yaa-Nun told us that the Earth is a living entity and that it has feelings. The Earth will treat you the way you treat her. With all of the damages that you humans have caused, you are destined for destruction. The Anunnaki see that humans have a suicidal mentality. They do any and everything to destroy themselves. Many people say that this sounds crazy, however that is what people usually say when they don't understand something. This is what he has been telling us about our planet Earth, but the Earth is much more sensitive than just you growing food from her to eat. You mow the lawn so it can look pretty for you. You cut down the trees for unnecessary purposes. Everything from the densest rock to the tallest tree is vibrating and has life. Everything is linked and basically has a chain reaction. When Mother Nature decides it is time for an animal to become extinct, you decide you want to preserve the animal by placing them in what is called wildlife preserves or game preserves. You grab lions and tigers and implant them with transmitters. The panda was disappearing, you decided to kidnap them, mark them with homing devices and shoot them with tranquilizers and take samples. It doesn't dawn on you that nature says it is time for these animals to become extinct. The Earth works in harmony. If you disrupt that, you will eventually have to pay the consequences, which you are doing now, with floods happening on the east and west coast of this country and fires are happening on the west coast. What I am saying is this: you have totally deviated away from Mother Nature and being in tune with her. You do all of these things, then when she decides to retaliate, you complain, get mad and say, "Oh God, why is this all happening?" I'll tell you why. You are like a parasite on the back of Mother Nature and she is trying to shake you off any way she can. You harm and do so many treacherous things to many other of God's creatures, that what goes around comes around again. The layman doesn't know this, however, any scientist can tell you that the Earth is a living entity. It possesses centrifugal, centripetal, and magnetic forces that work together with Nuwapians' bodies. The magnetic field of a human is part of Earth's magnetic field, of which it is a part, and in which it moves independently. These fields are composed of positive and negative vibratory energies, or forces. These two forces are called centripetal pulling and centrifugal pushing. Just as women are governed by the moon, others are governed by the Earth. The Earth is constantly expanding and contracting. Take a look for yourself at the disasters. The Earth is alive, however it is not well.